Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Megan, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I just woke up and I sure am hungry. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Beer Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Beer Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. But what super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my Cyclone 9 shirt. Yeah. I really like this design. Just very cool, simple, red and black. Gotta love it. What in or who is Cyclone 9? So Cyclone 9 is mostly a one-man musical project helmed by an individual who goes by Nero, who's been doing it for quite a while. I think originally they started off more as a conventional band, but as time went by, members came and went. Nero was kind of, the main guy still going, and so at this point it really is just kind of his musical project. But I've been fortunate enough to actually see Cyclone 9 perform a couple times now, and both times were excellent. And I really do have to give credit to not only him, but to the actual band members on stage as well. Like, he definitely has a really good team around him. If you don't believe me, I actually do have some videos of their performances that I've attended. Those videos are on my channel in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music is concerned, because I just think they're badass. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why am I hungry? Well, I'm hungry because I'm this guy. But yeah, I woke up maybe like an hour and a half ago. I guess that's not like just woke up, but especially the older you get, it takes a little bit longer to get the joints moving and such. And when I woke up, I was like, well, I'm kind of hungry. I don't want to really go out for anything though. And so I started looking around the house. What could I put together, especially if I can review something, right? So I was looking in my cabinet of many things, and I went over there and pulled out, boom, boom. It is new from Campbell's Chunkies line. This is their Texas-style barbecue burger soup, I guess. They don't call it soup, but it's soup. So yeah, I've reviewed some stuff from the Campbell's line. Typically I'm a fan-ish. And whenever they come out with a new, product, I always try to give it a go. So let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like this. And the soup itself, it's kind of hard to see because it's soup, but it looks like soup. And to its credit, it is definitely like properly chunky. Like, there's actually some pretty decent sized like sort of burger pieces. You don't get a ton of them though. I will say that. I think I've got about, it looks like 5. And then there's like a decent amount of potatoes and stuff. So, okay. Let's give it a go. It's okay. It's kind of, there's a little zing to the soup itself. So I guess that's where like sort of the barbecue aspect of it is coming from. Be right back. I have an adorable hamster over there. I want to give a treat to because I love him. Yeah, how you doing, buddy? Going back under your hidey hole? Okay. I have hamsters, by the way. This is, aside from my reviewing room, this is also my hamster room. That was my little guy gallery, but he's already back under his bedding. Anyway, going back to the review. Um, yeah, it's very okay. I mean, like Campbell's is fine. They have some decent products. Um, but I do think that, especially as years go by, increasingly it's kind of showcasing the fact that, like, yeah, they can put out some new stuff. They can put a little razzle dazzle here and there. They are sort of an old style, sort of soup company. And it's like, at the end of the day, this isn't bad for what it is, but it's also nothing exceptional. And, like, you can definitely get better canned soup. You might pay a little bit more for it, to be fair, but because yeah, I mean, it is exactly what it is. It's a bunch of fruit or a bunch of meat and potatoes that have been stewing around in the sauce. So as a result, they tend to take on the flavor of the soup base, which again isn't terrible, but it does taste fairly standard with just a little something added to it. Again, I'm guessing that's sort of the barbecue aspect of it. The burger part does offer up a certain amount of meatiness to it. But like the reality is, because of course, again, it's just been stewing in there. It's mostly taken on the flavor of that soup base. I mean, it's not bad, but it is a little bit lackluster. It's not very impressive in the grand scheme of things. It's okay, but like, I'll be honest with you. If you watch my channel, you probably know I also review a lot of instant ramen stuff, right? And I'll be honest, there's a good amount of instant ramen brands that I would take over like most Campbell's soup at this point in my life. Just because there's more going on in terms of flavor. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, sure and sure. Like, there's nothing bad about it. I've certainly had worse efforts from Campbell's. But I really would like to see them, like, I love the fact that, hey, they're trying to put out new stuff, trying to, give it at least a little something. And again, I do think there's a little something there with the, sort of the little extra tanginess, again, sort of Texas style. I don't personally think Texas would claim that. But at the same time, man, like, it's just, it's very similar to every, sort of red Campbell soup that they put out, and it's very okay. And I mean, typically when I've tried and liked their newer stuff, at least to a greater extent, it's, like when they did like the ghost pepper soup and stuff like that, where it's like, they're forcing it to have, some exciting flavor. Their day-to-day stuff, while not terrible, it's just, again, for me, I mean, I grew up on Campbell's, so I'm not trying to hate on it, but it is just that thing of like, most of their new stuff tastes like their old stuff, just, kind of reformatted a little bit. That's kind of what I feel like this is. But it's not bad, and like, again, I've certainly had worse stuff from Campbell's, so like, I could potentially see myself getting it again. If I'm recommending it, though, obviously it's not going to get a resounding recommendation, because it's just, it's like a solid C plus at best, and it's hanging on that C plus. It really is kind of, on the fringe there. It's fine, I'm sure that, because like a lot of times people will use like soups to go over there and make it into other stuff, and like you could probably go over there and like add stuff to this or add it to stuff and use it, in those ways. But like just as the straight soup, which is obviously how I'm consuming it, yeah, it's very okay. Again, it's nothing terrible, but if you're expecting anything spectacular because it's a new item, no, it's mostly the way that, you remember Campbell soup. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly proper Texas-style burger soup thing. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, do you have a favorite type of Campbell soup? Maybe one from your childhood that's, carried on, or, are you like me where, a lot of that nostalgia is worn off over the years? Because again, I certainly grew up on it, chicken noodle, cream of mushroom, what have you. And again, I think it has its place in its way, but yeah. Anyway, bye.